Hello friends, today we will be talking about knowledge management. Why knowledge management is so important? So we are talking about it today because this is an emerging concept of management. It is the systematic management of an organization's knowledge assets for the getting value advantage. Nowadays we often talk about knowledge society, learning organization. So in such scenario, knowledge management becomes important. It is all about getting the right knowledge. And in this particular video, we will be talking about knowledge, knowledge hierarchy, what is knowledge management, data, information and knowledge, purpose of knowledge management and importance of knowledge management. So what is knowledge? Knowledge is everything that we know, all the facts that are there in our mind, information that we get from different sources, skills that we acquire either by learning or by doing the things on ourselves, awareness about different matter, different thing going on in our surrounding, understanding of particular subject or familiarity with certain ideas, news that we listen, that we read in newspapers, listen through TV, internet, anything. So knowledge is collection of all these things. If we talk about difference between data, information and knowledge, then there is a hierarchy. Like data, it is a content that is directly observable or verifiable. Like the list that we get. Information is content that represent analyzed. Once we analyze that list, then the main context or abstract that we withdraw from that list is information. And knowledge is the decision that we make on the basis of the information that we have extracted from the data. Like if I take example that I'm willing to go for a movie, then the data, from where I'll get data about the movies? Obviously from newspaper or from the internet site, like different app that provide information of what type of movies are running around in my locality or in my city. So the list can be from newspaper with timing of those movie is data. And how I am extracting, analyzing that data. I want to go to movie today in the evening. Then the timing of my office, or if I am studying, then my college institute timings. I get free from that office at 5 o'clock. I need at least 1 or 1.5 hours to reach at the place where movies are being shown. So I look for the movie which starts after 6 or 6:30, and I'll collect the names and the screens where all such movies are being shown or movies are played. So I'll collect name, I'll extract or I'll get out the names of such movie and the cinema halls in which such movies are shown after 6:30. That is the information. And the knowledge, the information that I got, the list of movies, the timing of movies and the places where these movies are shown is applied for decision making, like which movie I am going to watch. If I am going to watch a movie with my friend who loves particular type of category or genre of movie, like he or she likes action movies, but at 6:30 the movies that are being displayed in cinema halls are not of that type. If I take him to such movie which he or she doesn't like, he may not appreciate or he may not enjoy that movie. So the decision that I may take is, okay, let's drop the plan of going to the movie. That is knowledge. The information that I have collected from the list of movies is used for decision making, and that is knowledge. If we talk about knowledge hierarchy, then basically on the basis of data, information and knowledge, it can be categorized into two parts, or it can be divided into two parts: tacit knowledge and explicit knowledge. If we talk about tacit knowledge, it is a type of knowledge which is in people's head and not articulated or documented. That means it is not codified. It is personal, it is experience based, it is intuitive, and it is hard to define. Tacit means understood. The word tacit means understood and implied without being stated. Stated means which is not written anywhere. It is unique knowledge that can't be explained clearly. It is the knowledge that people possess. It is not codified, or it is not brought down in particular form, like in form of books or in any other written form. It is the knowledge that people possess. Okay, so cognitive skills. Cognitive skills is the most important, or it is the best example of tacit knowledge. Cognitive skill varies from person to person. It depends on attitude, education, and perception of people. It is subjective. Tacit knowledge is subjective. Subjective because it differs from person to person. And this particular knowledge will be exhibited automatically. Like, you need not to read it somewhere, you need not to make people learn that will be displayed automatically. Like, if something that I don't want to eat, I don't want like the taste, then I'll make face. So that taste is my knowledge. Someone else may like that taste, but according to my knowledge, data, information, and knowledge, decision made, I do not like that thing. So that will be automatically displayed, and people use it without even realizing. If we talk about the other form of knowledge, that is explicit. This type of knowledge can be this can be processed by system. This is something which is codified, which is available in books or in any other form. It is explained without room for any sort of confusion, because it is clearly codified, it is clearly recorded, so it will not create any confusion. While tacit knowledge can create confusion because it is subjective. It is archived and protected. It is impersonal. As tacit is personal, varies from person to person, while explicit is impersonal, and this can be shared easily. If I'm sharing some book, if I'm writing something down, then I'm sharing the explicit knowledge. So this is the difference between tacit and explicit knowledge, which are two types of knowledge. The next thing of the knowledge for the right use. Generating knowledge from different databases, from different records, from different reports, documents, and database softwares, and accumulating all these, getting all these things at one place, arranging them in proper order so that they can be shared and used whenever organization requires that. It is a process of designing and installing techniques and processes to create, protect, and use the known knowledge, and to activate and the recording of tacit knowledge or sharing of tacit knowledge. This can be done by designing such activities that can discover and release the tacit knowledge. It is a concept or process in which an organization consciously gathers, like with the help of accumulating. The second step, which is accumulating, organization gathers, consciously it gathers all the information which is available in surrounding, all the things that are available in surrounding. It can be in the form of documents, it can be in the form of skills, or it can be in the form of different resources. And it is useful only when it is shared and used for decision making. So if we go through a formal definition of knowledge management is the explicit and systematic management of vital knowledge. Vital here means which is useful. Something which is not useful is not required by the organization. So it is systematic management of vital knowledge and its associated processes of creation, organization, diffusion, use, and exploitation of knowledge. If knowledge is not used or not exploited, it will be useless. It will be like a book which is covered with dust. So the basic important thing in knowledge management is organization and diffusion of knowledge so that it can be used properly, it can be exploited properly. If we talk about purpose of knowledge management, so the knowledge management is, as in first slide I said, it is for right person, right information, right place for decision making. It aims at providing right information to right people at right time, thereby providing them tools for analysis of information and respond and make decision on the basis of such information. The decision taken at faster rate will be helpful for organization. If right information is not available to right person, he won't be able to make decision. If right information is not available at right place, again decision making will be delayed. And if the place is right, the information is right, and the person to whom such information is provided is not the correct person or is not the person who is authorized to take decision, then again purpose of knowledge management will be of no, means knowledge management will be of no use, purpose will not be fulfilled. So right person, right information at right place for the faster and vital decision making is the whole purpose of knowledge management. And why, that is why organizations are taking knowledge management so seriously. If we talk about knowledge management, it is not a mere product, but it can be a key for success. It is a key that can open all the locks. Knowledge is something very strong, very powerful thing that can differentiate between organization, and the knowledge which is dynamic. Why we need to manage, or what is the importance of knowledge management for organization? Because knowledge is dynamic, it is ever changing. Whatever we know today, tomorrow it will be of no use. So it keeps on changing. As the business environment is dynamic, all the things that are happening in world is dynamic, they keep on changing, so as the knowledge. So keep eye on proper knowledge so that we can make decision faster, to the point, and the such decision which are helpful for organization is the main important purpose, or the thing for which knowledge management is done in any organization. It is core competence. It provides competitive advantage. If I am having something that my competitor are not aware of, then it will give me an extra edge, that edge with which I can go ahead, with which I can succeed. This core competence can be for individual, this can be for society, and this extra edge, this knowledge can provide extra edge to nations as well. The nation who is having latest technology will be far ahead than the nations who are trying to get that technology. The organization who is using the latest information which government is going to make decision, like from some sources the organization can read about the decision of government. If that knowledge is used by such organization even before that decision come into public domain, then that can be advantageous for any organization. Knowledge is a key resource in intelligent decision making, for forecasting, for designing, for planning, for diagnosis, etc. Knowledge is required. It is a key to open different locks. It is soul of every decision. It can be used for creating customer value, operational excellence, product innovation by which profit and effectiveness can be increased. And in the last important thing about knowledge management is it allows for making forecast and prediction which are helpful for organization. What is process of knowledge management? It involves 5 different stages are there in process of knowledge management. First, we should identify the knowledge need. The organization knowledge needs may be different. My organization may need different knowledge than knowledge required by some other type of organization. So I need to understand what is the knowledge need of my organization. The knowledge need or knowledge requirement is different for organization. It varies from organization to organization. It varies from department to department. The need depends on type, nature, competitor, environmental factors, strategies and plans that my organization is willing to undertake. Like if I am willing to go for product development, then my required knowledge will be different from the other organization which is willing to go for market expansion, or the knowledge which is required by any other organization who is going to sell off or lay off some of his businesses will be different from the organization which is willing to go for diversification. Next is identification of data sources, from where I can get these knowledge, from where I can gather this knowledge is the data source. It should be identified. Different sources for generating knowledge may be available. That should be identified, and if not readily available, then primary data sources, conversion of that data sources into usable sources is to be done. So after identifying my knowledge need, before acquisition and generation of knowledge, I need to identify from where such data can be gathered. Means I need to identify the data sources. The next step is acquisition and generation of knowledge. Acquisition and generation of knowledge like books, reports, publication, internet, collection of secondary. These are the methods from where I can collect secondary data source. And if my data is to be collected for the first time, nobody else has ever collected such data, then it is a primary data. And if I need primary data, then I need to generate that data, entirely new knowledge. Then it can be done by collecting it directly from the people from where I can get that primary data. It can be done with the help of some agency or by outsourcing such requirement or outsourcing such acquisition and generation of such data. Then processing, analyzing, presenting and codifying it. If I have gathered data but I am not able to analyze means the data which is useful for me, if I am not able to categorize, then all the process, all the steps that I have undertaken will go in vain. So I need to analyze that information. The data should be analyzed properly. It should be presented in proper form and should be codified so that we can later on store it. We need to interpret and present the whole data in meaningful form. Some raw figures will not be useful. Some numbers, some digits, collection of some data will not be useful unless it is interpreted. Means it will be given some meaning properly and it is presented properly. Like if in my society, if 200 people are living and I want to launch a program or I want to conduct a workshop for females, but I am not having correct information of how many females are there in my society and of what age group. I just know that 200 people are living and somewhere about 50 to 60% or 40% are females, but I am not having any exact idea about what is the age group of those females. Are those females in age group of 16 to 20 or 20 to 25 or 25 to 30? Why I need that thing? Because my workshop will be based on the age group of females in my society. If that particular thing is not analyzed, is not interpreted from the data that I have gathered, then such data will be useless. After analyzing, after interpretation of data, presenting data in particular format and codifying of data, I need to store that data or store that information. And storing is the main thing. Storing should be done in such a way that it can be used whenever required. It includes preserving existing data and acquired knowledge. Computer-based system can be a way to protect such data or store such data, and it should be stored in such a way that it can be distributed, It can be utilized as and when required. The main purpose of this whole process is use of knowledge for decision making. But if data is not stored in a proper way, and if it is not stored in a proper way, you cannot use it for decision making when you require that data. So we need to be the organization need to store in the data in such a way that it can be used as and when it is required for decision making, so that decision making can be done at a faster pace. So this is all about knowledge management up to process. There are a lot many things which can be shared about knowledge management, but that I'll cover in next video. Thank you.